I'm here a minute early, or more than a minute, whatever. You know, I just get tired of waiting around, press the go button, and whatever. Hi, friends. I'm Tiffany. Welcome to my quilting life. Today is Sunday, so Sunday where I sew with you on a Sunday, every Sunday, for the last however many years, like 5 years now, something like that. When I started this, it's been a long time. Let's see. Two things. Oh yeah. Let's say hi first. Let's see who's here. Got to put my spectacles on so that I can spectate.
Your glasses.
Spectate up close. That's what I'm doing. We got Joyce here, Polly, Rachel, Geraldine, Ellie, Kim, Dixie, Susan, Paula, Julie, Susan, Eva, Irish Sail Lady, Joy. A lot of you talking about the weather. It's nice here today, by the way. You guys wanted to know. It's 65 out there right now. Karen, Joan, Glinda, Alana, Robin, Roxanne, Barbara, Glinda, and so many, many more. Becca is here, and so many more. So hello to everybody that I missed. As you heard me just say, Becca is here. Well, tomorrow at 10 a.m. my time, so that's 12 p.m. It's noon East Coast time, I'm pretty sure. Becca, if you're there, you can correct me, but I'm pretty sure it's 12 p.m. East Coast time, and then 11 a.m. Central, and my time would be 10 a.m. Me and Becca will be over on Becca's channel, so make sure you go over there and subscribe and ring the bell so you can get notifications when her and I come on tomorrow, because we are going to be making Lisa the Unicorn. Can you pass me the pattern right there on top where your phone is? So it's just the pattern. Yep. We will be making Lisa the Unicorn over on her channel. That's what we will be doing. I'm just doing a wall hanging. Oh, I'm making, you guys heard me this whole time though, right? Probably. And we were just doing a wall hanging. I don't know what Becca's doing, but I'm only doing a wall hanging. So we will be doing this over on her channel tomorrow. So don't forget to go check that out. And while you're there, check out her channel and subscribe and so on and so forth. Okay. Secondarily, don't forget.
Becca's doing a pillowcase.
She's doing a pillowcase. So, okay. Yeah. 22 inches is how big they are, or something like that. I had to read the pattern in advance. So, that will work. Yeah. Also, Thursday, don't forget, will be episode 2 of Breakfast at Tiffany's. You know, the new thing that I started, the project every other week, the first and third Thursday of every month, which I have no idea how February's Thursday is going to work, because that Thursday I will be at Quiltcon. So I might make a pre-recorded video for you all and just have it as a premiere so that it's a live chat so you guys can all talk in it. But I might have to pre-record it because I won't be able to do it if I'm, doing pictures and all sorts of stuff at Quiltcon.
Don't worry about breakfast at Tiffany's. Just worry about the Sew Sunday.
Yeah. So I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll fix it. We'll figure it out. What else? Did I have anything else? That's it. So as you can see, hanging up, still on the wall in exactly the same position that it was in when I left you last Sunday. I'm working on this no-name whatever quilt where I took 8.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles and 4.5 inch by 4.25 inch squares. Well, sort of squares. They're almost squares, and hooked them in. And I'm making this with some 1.5 inch sashing in between the long squares and small ones. And then because I didn't have enough fabric, obviously I never have enough, I kind of just go with the flow. I had to go with 1 inch in between the columns. So I have my whole entire 1 inch pile right here, ready to sew in between the rest of this. And hopefully there'll be enough to go across the top, bottom, and both sides. But I'm not going to do that until I know that there's enough. And then if I can get that done, I found it's not the same fabric line. Scott and I spent like almost 2.5 hours in the fabric room last night. And again, this morning we spent time in there trying to find a fabric that matches. I absolutely had nothing. But I did find more fabric made by the same company, so it has the same texture. It's AGF fabric, so it's called what is this one called? Capsules, and it has just words on it, but it has that same tan color that runs through a lot of these pieces, and it has words on it that you can barely read, but whatever, because you know how sometimes you can't read everybody's cursive. Well, this is the cursive I cannot read. Scott can kind of read it, but I cannot at all. So this is going to be what's going to be the border, and I have a yard of it, so that will work because this isn't a very big quilt, and it'll be mostly square, hopefully. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I have my border fabric picked out for it because, well, that's what I had. So let's get started to sew this piece in between these pieces and connect these to the next ones and so on and so forth. And so far there's no pressing because the iron went, Scott had iron issues last week. So I do want this coming from the other side of me.
You were pressing when the iron had issues last week.
Oh. Well, either way, the iron, decided to do the iron thing that it does and, had issues last week.
I can press tonight. You want me to?
Yep. All right. So I'm just going to put this on my lap. I'm not going to pull or tug anything. I'm just going to stitch this 1-inch strip on here. All the way down till I can't go down anymore, and then I'll cut it at the end. I'm also making sure that these under pieces don't flip because we are using a 1-inch sashing between these. I want to make sure that these seams don't flip the opposite way, which they like to catch the little lips that are on the sewing machine. And I'm trying to hold them flat so it stays flat. Once I get close to the end, and the end is fully on the table, I will fold it up onto itself, line it up with the bottom, and cut it, because that's how I do this. I don't pre-measure nothing. I'm definitely not a pre-measurer at all. Not with borders or anything. I just imagine a length that I need and sew it on. All right, so I'm just going to finger press this back. And then I think I'll pass it to Scott to get all this, because you didn't press these last week either, so they need to be pressed towards this. Yeah.
You were ironing, not me.
Yeah. So I'll start attaching the sashing between all those rows while he gets these flat. That way it's easy to assemble, because this is 1 inch, and the flatter it is with your sashing strips, the easier things will be. All right, so there's that one. Try to press those all.
I'm just doing this one, right?
For now, you got to do the other one that's on the wall here too. Yeah, both of the long strips. There's another one in there that's not pressed. All right, so I'm going to grab another strip, and I'm just going to hook onto that. And then so on and so forth. So they all have a strip on them. Hopefully everybody's having a good weekend. I spent 90% of my day so far in bed because I am extremely tired for no apparent reason.
Because you've been working like crazy all week. It's not no apparent reason.
Scott says it's because I've been working all week, but it feels like MS-related fatigue.
Oh, you've been working all day, 5 days straight.
Yeah, he says I've been working all day, 5 days straight, which I have been working a lot.
You don't even take time off of that movie to be in that. You work all night. You've been working like crazy. You need to take breaks. Okay, I need that whole thing. The whole piece.
Can you fix all those seams, please, so that the block lays flat?
You told me last week to iron it, however.
No. Not these, because they're 1 inch. These all back here need to all go in very
Okay,
nicely.
You told me last week to iron it, however.
Yeah, well, this is sloppy.
Okay,
I know
well, if
people
you want me
don't-
to iron it upside down, you have to tell me.
I know people don't look inside the quilt, but that it won't lay flat. And when I go
Well,
to
I
long
asked you
arm it,
this
it will
last
have
week when Justin was here.
bumps
You
and
told me
stuff.
Just make it flat. You didn't tell me to put them all in. Goofy. Why don't you do that?
All right. Fold it up on itself and cut.
You just want me to do it twice?
All right, and then I'm going to finger press this back.
This one's already 100% out the other way. I have to do the whole thing twice.
It's a little bit harder to hold them open with 1-inch strips. All right. Lay that up there. Put this up here so I know that that's next. Grab another one and sew it on. It was very hard this week being in here and doing other projects and not working on this. Normally I would like just work on it and be like, okay, I finished it.
Okay, hold it like this now? Just how you want it?
Yes, in.
Okay. You would have said that last week.
Pretty sure I did, but that's okay.
No, you told me to make it flat. You should have said that. You said just make it flat.
And my chair keeps rolling over this. Okay, fold it over and chop it off. All right, finger press it back. These kind of like silky style cottons are very shreddy, I've noticed.
Ironing the other side.
Place this up here. Grab another one. And sew it on. Not out of bobbin. Nope, that was just a snag on the shredding fabric. So hopefully everybody got to see the video I posted this week. I had gotten lots of inquiries about how to do the cross hatching, how I did that in my open gate video. So I made a video specifically on cross hatching on small projects. So hopefully everybody got to see that. If you are a beginner and didn't know how to quilt your quilt, cross hatching is definitely a convenient, easy way. Yes.
It's very hard to do each one on the opposite direction.
Okay, well, this is next, and I'll just go ahead and do it. It's fine, because I'm used to it. All right, let's attach this one on here. I should have enough to go all the way around. It's what it's looking like on the floor. What?
Why don't you use the wood piece to finger press out your strips?
Because I'm so used to fingernailing it, unless it's like I've been in. So I use my fingernails, not the tips of my fingers, because I have nerve issues at the tips of all my fingers. So if the fabric actually makes my fingers go numb faster, I don't know why. So I use my fingernails, which is kind of like the same thing as using the wooden stick, but I'm so used to my fingernails that I just go with that instead of grabbing the wooden stick every time.
When are you going east?
February 19th, I leave to go to Virginia. And then I leave from where I'm at Becca's house. We leave to go to North Carolina on that Wednesday. So the 21st.
It'll be here soon, right?
Yep, it's coming.
We'll be right above all these states.
Yep, I'm going to fly above everybody and I'm going to wave. I'm going to run to one side of the windows and then I'm going to go to the other side of the windows. I'm going to wave to everybody. So be paying attention, okay? Because you might see me with those spectacles that you got to put on your face with binoculars on top of binoculars.
Yeah.
And even then, it might just look like I'm flipping somebody off. So, I mean, you never know.
Is Ian joining you?
Yes, Ian will be at Quiltcon, and he is also staying. I don't know how long at Becca's after Quiltcon. I don't know if he's going to the Mid-Atlantic Quilt Show with us, which is that next weekend. I'm not 100% on that. But here, we'll use this because it's, it's a convenient spot too. Don't use it on this kind of fabric. It's leaving markings.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely don't use it on AGF fabrics, art gallery fabrics, because it left a nice big white streak across that block.
It'll come out with water, won't it? We have some spray water over here, honey.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. That's weird. Maybe it's because they're silkier feeling. I don't know. I told you, all of these art gallery fabrics are more silkier feeling than any other cottons I have ever gotten in my stash. I mean, the one I pulled is silky, and there's another one that I pulled, but it doesn't go with this at all. That is silky feeling. It's probably best to use this kind of cotton to make robes and stuff, honestly. Just by the feel of it, it feels like a silk robe. All right. I am going to move to the iron real quick and press this piece and then press all the other ones back. So let me get this pressed back real quick. Yeah.
Maybe that would make it easier for you.
I got it real quick. Yeah, you can iron those ones because they're already back to one direction. Let me just get this one that's already connected. Nah, it's working like this.
Can we move the camera so they can see how you're ironing it?
If you want to, yeah.
That way they would know. And they can see what I was doing wrong and how Tiffany's doing it right.
So I just run the iron. So like the seams right here, I want them all in towards the 1-inch strip. So I run the iron, I hold the 2 strips open like this. And once you run the iron against it, it closes both of them at the same time usually, all the way. Sometimes you have to adjust. But if you just do it just right, you can close it. I always like everything pressed towards a 1-inch strip instead of away from. I like it pressed towards. And I always do the back and then I'll flip to the front and make sure, because I'm spreading it right here to make sure that I have no folds over the front. I'm using my fingers to do that. And then flip it over from the top side while it's already pressed down and warm, and make sure it's super flat.
Pretty good. It's coming together.
Yeah. Okay. So while you're pressing these back, since I did it with my finger already, okay, we'll do one at a time. Just press these back. They're already finger pressed. I'm going to hook these 2 together.
And they 4.5 inches wide.
They're 4.5 inches wide, and the bigger piece, so it's 8.5 by 4.5, and then the smaller one right here is 4.25 by 4.5. 4.5 this way, 4.25 that way. And there's 1.5 inch strips in between and 1-inch strips connecting the rows because I didn't have enough fabric. So in case you want to make I didn't have enough fabric quilt, this is what you do. You improvise. It's still the same sashing color, it's just different size.
We don't plan, we improvise, right, Vivi?
Yep, no planning, just improv. Only certain things get plans, at least in my room.
Was it 1.5 and 1-inch cut?
Yeah, 1.5. You could do 1 inch between all of them, honestly, if you wanted. That way you can go all the way around. I had 1 yard of fabric to work with. So, because it was folded in half, and I had already cut my 1.5 inch strips, and I was able to get the sashing between every single piece, but I didn't have enough for the sashing in between each block and to be able to go around it one more time to finish it off. And these 2 ends should meet right up, and they do. Hold it nice and straight because it's wanting to like move around on me. And then this one gets pressed towards the sashing. Here I go, knocking that loose. There's 3 more for you to do. I'm just gonna like put it down here though, because
You know how much tickets cost?
for
Or she's talking about
Quiltcon, I don't remember. I think I paid $45 for 3 days as a non-member. If you are a member of the Quilt Guild, the Modern Quilt Guild, I think it's free. But I'm not a member, so I don't know what 1-day tickets are. Maybe they're 15. That's the way.
45
That's the way they.
is what Nita said.
Yeah, for all the days.
I don't know. She just said 45.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's 1 day or all the days.
No, I think 1-day passes are like 15 or something like that. So for all the days, it was 45.
Have you bought hers in advance? Though?
Yep,
She's
I bought
ready.
mine in advance. As soon as they so the guild, the Modern Quilt Guild, opened tickets in advance for the members, and then like a week later, 2 weeks later, they opened it for non-members. I bought it right then and there. All right, I'm going to attach this one. No, I'm not, because it's upside down and I need a piece between the two.
I just signed that one.
Hold on, I got to put this one back up because I have the colors not touching. I have to put a sashing in between this one and this one. Now, if I could refine that end, where did you go?
Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cutting That Joe?
Yeah.
Is you singing over here?
I'm not singing, you're singing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Are you taking any of the classes?
Huh?
Are you taking any of the classes?
I am not taking classes. I'm not a class taker. When I go to quilt shows, I like to go to enjoy the quilts, the company, because I'm going to have my friends there with me, and meeting the fans, as well as I enjoy just like being nosy shopping, because I mean, I'm going to shop, obviously. Who doesn't when you go to a big quilt show like that? But I mainly go there because I'm a visual person and I like the sense of seeing all those modern quilts. Like when I went to Phoenix, it was amazing. There were so many quilts. I'm like, oh, I'm going to make that. Oh, I want to make that. Obviously, I came home and I haven't made any of them, but just the idea of it. Ooh, oh, I like, oh, how did they do that? And you get up so close and you're like, oh, that's all they did? I can do that. Like you get that sense of good feeling when you go and enjoy a quilt show. Classes wise, I don't need them because I'm the teacher myself. So I don't think I really need to take a class. I mean, maybe I need a class on learning, specific things that I always forget. But then someone reminds me and then, oh yeah, that's what it's called, But other than that, I don't think they make classes for dummies like me who forget things all the time. I know, but I forget it. So I don't, like that. We were reading the books on dummies. Computers, what was it? A Windows computer floppy disk for dummies?
Yeah. You gonna do a quilting for dummies? Both?
Yeah, for me to remember things. I have the horriblest memory and I have cognitive issues. I could get big words like that out, let me tell you. But sometimes it takes some real thinking to get it there. Sometimes it comes out at the wrong word or backwards or, I just have issues. And they don't have a class for that. There's not really anything I want to learn, honestly. I mean, I know how to use my embroidery machine. I know how to use my sewing machine. I know how to make a half square triangle. I mean, what is there for me to learn? I know how to bind a quilt. If I was to hand bind it, I pretty much know how to do that too. So, I don't want to learn any hand embroidery or anything like that. So I really just don't need classes. There's lots of different styles of quilting I could probably learn, but I don't think they have long arm quilting classes at Quiltcon. So I really don't need that either. Just like my piecing, my quilting is the same. I make it up as I go. before I do anything, I'm going to get this one pressed back and then start attaching them.
Did you pick your fabrics on leftovers or just random colors?
This was a fabric line, and I forgot the name of the line again. Something in Season. Season and Spice. That's what it's called, by Art Gallery Fabrics. Yeah.
That's what I was
Yep, that's the name of the line. I even went online last night. Me and Scott were looking for the fabric, trying to find something that'll match. And we went online to find the line itself and then see what other fabrics are in the line. And I pretty much have everything but 2 of the prints from the line. It was a 16-piece line. And I had everything except for the 2, maybe it was 3 colors. Anyways, so I looked at those colors. We couldn't even find anything that matches those in my room. So that's why we landed on, more art gallery fabric, but different line. I'm going to press this real quick.
Have you ever made a crazy quilt? That's what I want to make.
I've done, I don't know if it's considered crazy quilt, but I have pieced random pieces together, and crazy quilts, I think, are the ones that have the stitching in between everything.
What's considered a crazy quilt?
The crumb blocks. Yeah, most of my quilts are crazy. Crumb blocks sewn together in a specific way, I think, is what crazy quilt is. Yeah, I haven't done one. I also want to do crumb blocks for big pieces, big chunks, and then use a decorative stitch to put them together. Not to put them together, but, sew them together and then use the decorative stitch on top. That's what I want to do. I think that would look really cool. All right, so I'm going to line this up, sew it on, do the next, line it up, sew it on, do the next, until they're all on here. And then we'll go all the way around it, hopefully, because that looks like enough to go all the way around. We'll see. In a minute, yeah.
Okay. I just had it water. Blow up on you. It'll be good.
All right, and it's the same size when I come to the end, so I just hold it up together and stitch it. All right, well, let's finger press it first. It's easier to finger press than iron. That way it's 100% folded back. At least I find it easier for 1-inch strip pieces. If it wasn't 1 inch, then you could just go over the iron, but.
Do you ever do service projects?
Service projects like veterans quilts, like Quilt of Valor type thing. I've made red, white, and blue quilts, but I never did the actual Quilt of Valor where it's a specific size and certain blocks or whatever they use for what is actually considered a Quilt of Valor. I have not done that. But I have done red, white, and blue, if that's, Okay, next one.
Do you have
Here.
a pattern for the flag?
Do I have a pattern for the flag? It's July 3rd of 2022. is the video, and the video is the pattern because I don't write patterns. I just do verbal visual. I have wrote a few, but mainly it's just guidance because the video is more whatever. The videos usually go with whatever I've done. But just because I wrote a couple patterns doesn't mean I'm going to become a pattern writer because I really suck at it. If there's one thing I can't do in my quilting journey, that's sit and properly write a pattern. I just can't do it. Something about writing drives my brain nuts.
Starch for quilters?
Huh?
Have you heard of a heavy-duty starch for quilters?
I don't use starch, really. I mean, I just got some Best Press in my open gate box, which I'll probably, like I said to someone the other day, I'll dilute it with water. The whole container I'll pour into something else and fill the rest of the way with water, and that will be my starch. I really don't starch. And when I do, it takes months to go through one big bottle of the fontless because I really don't ever starch. So I don't know what other kind of starches are out there, honestly. I know fontless, Stayflow or stuff. I don't know how everybody pronounces it. To me, it says Stayflow. Which the military uses that for pressing their stuff. Did you know that? And then I obviously Best Press because my friend Becca loves that stuff. She's here in the chat. She swears by it. I just don't press. I don't press. I do press. I don't need Best Press. I don't need any kind of anything.
When are you and Eric going to make the butterfly thing?
We were supposed to start next month, but since I'm going to Virginia and stuff, I think we're postponing it a little bit because I don't want to start anything and then not be able to finish it.
Eric's on here.
Oh, well, Eric, I don't know. He could answer. I'm pretty sure it's not going to start next month because I already have a lot going on right now. It'll probably be the month after. He's been trying to organize his craft space so that way he can start new projects. Right. I'm going to press this real quick. Right there.
Eric says April, he guesses.
Yeah.
He may be transitioning.
We'll see. We will see when it happens.
Using Best Press, do you iron with steam or dry?
If using Best Press, do I iron with steam or dry? Ask Becca because I, again, don't use it, so I don't know. I just got this in my open gates box, and I'm going to pour it into another container that I can fill up the rest of the way with water and call it my mix. I don't even know if I'll like the smell. It's citrus, so I don't know. I don't like smells. That's my problem. All right, next.
Eric may be looking for new housing.
Yeah.
Tell him we asked our neighbor.
We asked the neighbor, Eric, if they're going to be making it a rental again or if it's going to be sold.
He said it's not going to be done for a while.
It won't be done for a while, though. Unfortunately. What?
Are the rectangles 4.5 by 8.5?
Yes, 4.5 by 8.5. They were cut from quarter yard cuts, sideways. started in last week's video. I said it out loud. I forgot to link it in the bottom of today's video, but obviously you're already watching today, so why would you switch over to last week's for measurements when I'm already telling you again? Yes. Huh? What quilt pattern? This is me making stuff up as I go. That's what quilt pattern it is. Because I tend to do that 96% of the time on my channel. Oh, wow. That's a lot for rent to go up. Yeah, I would say, no way, not for an apartment. Just because it's in LA. Okay. Press this real quick. And then once this is pressed, I have 2 more to hook on, and then I can go all the way around it. Yep. Okay. Get this one on there. Ooh. I think this quilt is turning out pretty cute. Not my normal choice of color, that's for sure. So the bottom of this one is hanging down quite a bit farther. So when I'm done with this quilt, I will have to square it, because this one is hanging down like 1 3/4 of an inch. So I think what I'll do is just get that last one on and square the bottom, because the top is pretty aligned, but the bottom seems a little wonky.
What are your favorite colors?
My favorite color is purple. My second favorite color is black. Is that a color, or is it the absence of color? I don't know, but I like it. Well, oh yeah, white is the absence, but black could be too, because it's total darkness. You can't see any color, right? You can't see it. It's gone. It's black. You know, so I don't know. And then my third favorite would be pink. I wear a lot of pink clothes, surprisingly. Like a lot of my pajamas are pink. But I do like the color purple best. That is my favorite color. And I do make a lot of quilts with purple in them. Like just recently, I made a king size. Hopefully you guys all saw that video. The double carpenter wheel star. The ginormous quilt. No, this was from 1/4. No, not 1/4. Yeah, 9 inches of fabric. So 1/4 yard cuts is what this was from. But by half, they were in half. So they were called fat eighths. That's the word for it. See, I knew. That's why I need a class to help me remember the names of things. you know. Fat 8s is what they were called. So I had mostly all fat 8s, but 3 of them were fat quarters, but cut in half. It's a fat 8, so it allows, you know.
And you also like anything with butterflies.
And I also like anything with butterflies, because I guess someone's asking. Butterflies, sugar skulls, dragons, and if it all has purple in it, it's even better. Yeah. I have 2 dragon panels. I should like make those someday so I can hang them in the living room.
You should.
Because they're really awesome, and I just haven't done them yet because, well, I get caught up in all sorts of other stuff. And I think I have quilter's ADD. Do you guys have quilter's ADD? Because I start something, and then, ooh, that's pretty, and then start something else. Oh, I like that, and then start something else. And then by the end, you have 500 projects going at one time, and not enough time for the things you actually bought to make something with, like a dragon wall hanging for my living room.
Well, you have a fan on the Facebook group that posts dragon walls.
Yeah.
The dragon quilts. Catch them all.
Yep, I love all the dragon stuff. And the funny thing is I have all 3 of those things tattooed on me. I have butterflies tattooed on me in more than one spot. I have dragon tattooed right there on my arm. You guys always see that. And then I also have a big, huge sugar skull tattooed on the front of my leg above my knee. When you love things, you love things. And then purple is tattooed on me too. My whole chest piece is all purple accented of a tattoo. It's purple, black, and gray. Yeah, well, I think it is because I started off some of these rows with the 1.5 inch piece, and that's why it's sticking over on the bottom. Because there's a 1.5 inch piece at the top. But that's okay. It will still be cute because I don't really care. I've never cared when it came to this, because if the quilt is cute, it doesn't matter if everything was exactly the right size. I always tell everybody, have fun with it. It's your quilt, you know. If you don't want to sew by the rules, which I don't think there really is any if you're in your own sewing room, then have fun with it. All right, so there should be enough of that 1 inch to go all the way around. So I'm going to press this real quick. Then I'm going to trim that bottom nice and square. And then we'll go around it.
Oh, you're talking about dragon salt and pepper shaker you got.
Yep, I got dragon salt and pepper shakers from a fan because they know what I like. I probably have a dozen different butterfly fabrics. I make bags mostly with them because I like to make it shine. I don't put very many butterflies in the quilts because most of them are big and you don't want to cut them up into too small of pieces. All right, so this quilt is rectangle like I thought it would be. Scott thought it would be too square, but it came out rectangle, which is perfect because that's what we want, is a rectangle. So I'm going to just make this end nice and straight. And I'm using the lines on the ruler with the lines on with the seams. All right, now to go all the way around it. Yeah, those look good. Oh no, that one's kind of wonky right there. Let's make it not wonky.
They say your hair's getting long again.
Yep, my hair is definitely getting long. I'm unwonkifying this whole bottom real quick by using the seams as my guide. And then I just did that. Straighten that to that, though. There we go. Much better. Also, if you guys haven't noticed, my bin of scraps is overflowing. You can tell how much you can tell how much I've been working in here because it's overflowing.
If they can see, it comes up over the table. They
Yeah.
can see it.
Yep, that's my trash bin of scraps that, you know, are not usable, like the selvages and stuff. At least in my room. I know a lot of you use the selvages to make selvage quilts, but I don't. All right, you think this would be enough? Let's take the test. We'll put the sides on first, and the top and bottom.
The inspector came to see. He finally woke up.
Yep, the cat finally woke up from his day-long nap. He's in here somewhere. I don't see him, but
he's over here inspecting.
Oh, he's inspecting
everything.
So I'm gonna do the sides first, then the top and bottom. And then we'll cut the, we'll see how big it is, and then see how much bigger we could make it with 1 yard of border fabric. It's not very big. It's a lap size for a small adult. It's probably like the couch size quilt. Cuddle up on the couch. Oh, this one didn't land at, it landed past a seam, which is good. Can I have the scissors, please?
Oh, yeah. Over here. We still using the iron?
Yes, because I got to press this back. All right. Let's cut the size. I'm going to finger press it, go to the other side, and then I'll press those back with the iron after I get the sides both on. I really have a lot of thread poking through all these seams. I'm a sloppy piecing maker. Peacemaker. There we go. Quilt top maker. Sloppy quilt top maker. That's what I am.
Oh, it is.
All right,
sloppy.
let's turn it around. Get that other side. I'm going to cut the seam from the end, though, because it's literally right at the end. Put it in my overflowing pile of madness. Right sides together. Please, please, please be enough. Really hope it is.
I'm sure it will be. You know what you're doing.
Gotta untangle the stuff. I have no idea how to quilt this. I might do leaves because there's, I don't know, it just seems, it's called something in spice, and a lot of spices are just leaves, so leaves. Leaves would be a good thing. I taught me how to sew. I watched my mom sew when I was a kid, but I really never took to it until I had kids. And I had a sewing machine that I got when I was young, so I decided to start using that sewing machine, you know, to mend my kids' clothes when they were little, but that's all I knew how to do. I didn't know how to do anything else. I probably could have started quilting back then, you know, because this really isn't that hard, like at all. I mean, there are hard things, obviously, but this kind of stuff is really easy. And so I could have started when my kids were little, but I would have never been able to afford the hobby, like, at all. And sorry for the shaking of the camera. The cat has the cord.
He's attacking.
He's attacking. So How is the video this week, by the way? Okay. All right, I'm going to press these sides, and then I'm pretty sure there's enough for the top and bottom. I could have went with like 1 1/4 inch.
Are you going to measure the top and bottom to see?
No, I'm not measuring nothing. Besides finding how big it is once these borders are on so that I know how big I can cut my 1 yard up into. Yeah, this isn't binding. This is a border. And most people measure their borders. I do not. I just sew them on. Most of the time, we'll say like 99% of the time, my quilts are actually square. For those of you out there that own a quilt that I have made, it's pretty square, right? I don't do anything by the rules unless I have to, like if it's something like a pattern or something, you know. Oh, you unplugged it. That's why it wasn't working good. I don't give it a break when I iron.
You saw what happened last week, did you not?
All right.
It needs a break.
Okay.
It's been on 50 minutes.
We're going to do the top and the bottom now. And I'm going to real quickly make sure that no seam is landing in the end because this is a top and a bottom. Oh, it's next to a seam. Good. And I have plenty left.
You need juice?
No,
Water?
I have water. All right, here we go. Sew this on here and the other side. And now I'm ghost sewing. It is a good thing I rolled a bobbin.
You came prepared.
I came prepared today because I remember last week I needed to change the bobbin. And this was the last of the bobbin from me sewing yesterday. Was I sewing yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. I've been sewing so much that I don't even know what day it is 90% of the time. Scott's like, it's Sew Sunday. Did you create a Sew Sunday thing so we could go on live? And I was like, yeah, I made sure to do that. All right, let's go back about an inch beyond where I ended and continue on.
What color thread are you using?
Right now I'm just using a gray color thread. I think it's called Dove, honestly. I think that's the name of it. No, it's 100% cotton. It's essentials thread. Out of curiosity, though, for those that are curious, it's essentials and it's silver. The color is silver. Essentials brand. It's a 50 weight cotton, 100% cotton, 50 weight. I love this stuff, and so far the Juki is loving it. Besides the dust mess, because it is kind of dusty. But with all threads that are cotton, they're pretty much all dusty. But this one, I don't know. I don't think it's, when it's coming off the spool up here and going through all this, it's leaving a nice dust trail right here on the top of my machine. And normally I don't get that from other cotton threads, but I can't use the Aurifil anymore on the Juki itself because it needs to be a big spool. And I don't have the problems with the big spools when it comes to too much dust. There's a little bit of dust, but it's usually in the bobbin area, not on top like this. But that's okay. It sews wonderfully, and I haven't had much breakage with it or anything. Especially when I sew really fast. With most of the projects I do, I sew pretty fast. So as long as I can handle my fast sewing, we're all good. All right, here at the end, I'm going to snip it to the size of that border. In a minute, I'm going to finger press through the bottom and then finger press that, then iron. Yeah, I probably could have went with 1 1/4 inch, and I still would have had plenty to go all the way around. Probably should have thought about that before I started cutting it all up last week, you know. and the center ones could have been 1 1/4 instead of 1 1/2, and I could have just did 1 1/4 all the way around the whole thing and had 3/4 of an inch in between instead of half. Okay, go to the other side. I'm going to make sure that it doesn't land on a seam. So I'm going to go ahead and take the opposite side just because. It's nice and tangled. Okay, that's not the right side. This. Let's see if it lands on a seam. This is my idea of measuring right here, guys. I just make sure that no seam lands at the very end like this. I don't want a seam at that very end, so I'll adjust it up. That way there's no seam at the end. I don't know why I'm so picky about that. It's probably the only thing I'm picky about is having a seam land right at the end. How what?
How wide are you making the borders?
I don't know. These are 1 inch. The final borders will be whatever size 1 yard of fabric. Because I don't want any waste. I don't want anything left from that fabric because I probably won't ever use it again if I leave small pieces. So I'm going to divide however many strips I need by 36 and see what number I get. And that will be the size of my border. Yes, and it's so invisible that I lost it. I don't know where the invisible thread went because it's invisible and I can't see it. I'm serious. I don't know where it is.
I believe you.
I had it. We bought it specifically for Gabby's wedding dress.
That's true.
And now I can't find it. Of course, I probably couldn't have found it when I was sewing with it either because I had a hell of a time sewing with the stuff too. All right, so I actually have, look how much left. I have all this left, which can go in my strings. So,
You gonna do orange binding?
Orange binding, it depends on the look of things. You can plug the iron in now because I'm finger pressing this back. And by the time it's all the way back, we're going to press it, measure it, and divide the 1 yard into however many cuts. I only think I need 5 cuts, but maybe 6 because I'm going to be cutting. However wide it's going to be, I'm also going to need to take that in it to account for the top and bottom when I go to add those on. Let's snip this one to size. There. Throw that in my scraps. Press this nicely. Then measure it. This is a pretty good sized little quilt. It's like 48 or 50, somewhere around there right now in width. In length, it's probably about 65 inches or something. I don't know. I'm just guessing. All right. I'm going to fold it in half. This is 12, 52. So it's 52 wide at this time by 54. No. Carry 1. Yeah, 54. 27, 27, 54. 27 plus 27 is 54.
Yes. Yes.
So it's 52 by 54. It looks longer. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strips. Let's see. 1 yard divided by 6.
36 divided by 6 is?
Nah, 4.5. 5. What is it? 36? 6.
6 times 6.
Oh, yeah, 6 times 6 is 36. Look how easy that was. So we're doing 6-inch borders here. Look at that.
Keith fell off over here and he's looking at it.
Well, actually, I'll save that for another 1 yard piece of fabric. All right, I'm going to straighten out my
What's your
ends.
sewing machine you're using?
I use a Juki TL 2010Q. Best machine ever. Scotty put a link in the chat so that you guys can see for yourself why I say it's the best machine ever. All right, so I'm going to cut 6-inch strips here. Let's go right here, just like this. I also need to change my blade again because it's getting dull. All right, 6.
We can do that easy. I can do that for you.
1. 2. 3. I'm using the cutting mat for my numbers, by the way. 4. 5. I'll just have to line this up real quick to get my 6th. And then I always save, oh no, I don't save that one because that's not an inch right there. But once it goes to an inch, it's about right there. That's going to go on my scraps. That's going to go on the trash.
When you make bags, do you change your thread? Which brand do you use?
When I make bags, I don't change my thread. I just use whatever thread matches whatever bag I do. Most of the time, it's cotton, but sometimes it's polyester. Depends on the bag I'm making and the color that I need. I'm going to stack all these on top of each other. I'm not even going to press that because I'm lazy about it.
I can press it.
No,
It's on.
it's
Time's
fine.
on. I'm going to take a second.
Stacking them all upside down. Oh, and this is a directional print, so I'm probably going to have to miter the corners because it's directional. Just thought about that right now, that it's directional fabric. I'm going to cut the selvage off all at the same time, all of these pieces. It's a very big selvage. It's a 1-inch selvage on this fabric. Can you believe that? 1 inch gone to waste. All right, I'm going to hook them all together end to end. I'm just going to take, they're all stacked up here, take that bottom one, and the next two, the next two, the next two, the next two should all be right sides together. And I'm just going to sew them together, end to end. This is how I do borders. It's really that easy.
Candace, if you're not lazy, you're a rebel.
Yeah, I'm definitely a rebel. All right, last two. snip them apart. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the quilt and I am going to do mitered borders. And you guys are going to see right here in person how quick and easy this is. I have it in my video for the, hold on, double carpenter star. I show you guys how to do it in person up close.
You do cornerstones if miters don't work.
Yeah. Nah, miters will work. All right. So I'm just going to grab one side. I'm going to grab all this. I'm going to throw it on the floor, finding an end. Here's my end. I'm going to hang it over about 6 inches. I'm also going to make sure that the writing is going in somewhat of a direction. I think I'm going to have all the writing face inward. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to hang it over about 6 inches. And to know that I have 6 inches, honestly, you could just fold this right here in half and go, oh, that's 6 inches worth right there. I'm going to go just beyond that, though, by like, you know, 1/4 of an inch or so. I'm going to start 1/4 inch in with my needle. So I'm going to find where I need to start and put my needle 1/4 inch in right there. I'm going to start stitching. I'm going to stitch this one on and then we'll leave 6 inches or more on the end. You'll see this is a very simple thing to do. I won't even have to get up. But there's more than this way to do it. You can lay it on a table and so on and so forth. If you were using a bigger border, I would say lay it on the table.
I don't understand how you know how far down to start the border.
Because this is 6 inches wide. That's how I know how much to hang over. So if it was a 7-inch wide, you should be hanging over a little bit more than 7 inches. This is 6. I have it hanging over 6 1/4. And if it was 8, I would have it hanging over about 8 1/4, maybe 8 1/2 at the most. If it was a 5-inch, you hang it over a little bit more than 5. 6 would probably be the best, you know, just to be on the safe side, do an inch more, but I'm working with very limited amount of border fabric here. I'm going to be cutting it real close. So I'm coming up to the end. I need to stop 1/4 inch away from the edge. So 1/4 inch for the end. All right. There should be 1/4. Yep, that's about 1/4. And then, so I'm going to fold it on top of itself right here. You can see I'm going to fold it with the end of the quilt. And I know that that seam right here is just a little bit beyond, not a seam, but a fold in the fabric. So it's hanging over about 6 inches because I hung it beyond there, right? So now I'm just going to flip this back and up and out of the way because I need to access my 1/4 inch corner right here without stitching on that previous fabric. I'm going to make sure I turn the quilt like this and make sure that my border is going in the right direction, and it is. Hang it over again. The amount of inches I need, and then I'm going to drop my needle right in that 1/4 inch corner. And if you need to mark it with a pen or, you know, like a disappearing pin or something, I would say do that. But I kind of just look, I feel for that seam so I know where I need to put my needle if I can get to it. So I can feel that seam and then stitch on. This is probably the easiest way to do mitered borders ever. Because you don't have to get up for anything. You don't have to measure anything either. It's all by feel and by eye. I'm hoping there's enough here. Seems like there was enough. It might not be enough. It was 50 something by 50 something. And I added 44. Yeah, it should be. We'll see. Now this side is going to end beyond a seam. There's going to be a seam in the middle of this one. Guess what? I don't care. So I'm going to come up to about 1/4 inch away from my starting point. I'm also going to trim away this funky piece of fabric right there. So I need to stop right there. I kind of put my finger down. You could lift and look. And I stopped 1/4 inch from the edge. So I'm going to fold it like this. Come on. Oh, this is not enough. This is not enough, Scotty.
We need to cut more?
I don't have more to cut. This is not going to be enough.
Well, don't say that then.
We're going to see right now. There might not be a bottom on this quilt. It might be a 3-corner quilt.
That would be interesting.
Actually, it won't have a top. It'll have a bottom. Because I think I started on the bottom. We're going to see right now. I'm going to hang it over. About right there. I probably should have went with a smaller number, like 5 inches. Then I would have known for a fact I would have had plenty.
Well, we'll see soon enough.
Yeah, that's not enough. But whatever. This would be a super funky quilt if I have to go grab another fabric or something.
You did have that other one. Remember?
Yeah. Well, we're across the top right now. It'd be actually one side that doesn't have enough. I'm still going to sew this on here. Because in reality, what I can do is trim the sides down to the size I need. And use, so this was 6 inches. I could trim it down to 3 inches on all 4 sides and then hook those 3-inch strips together, and then I'd have enough for all sides. Well, I can't now because I'm at the end. We're going to see right now, though. It looks like, yeah.
Just add something that's eclectic.
Yeah. Well, I actually have an idea. If I have to add to this one side, because it's landing on the side, you know. We're going to come up to about 1/4 inch before it ends. Yep, perfect. I'm going to fold it. And we're going to see how long this side amount is right here. Is there enough? Let's see. Oh, it's shy. So what we're going to do is
How shy is it?
It's shy by, got to hang this over. It's shy by like 5 inches, 5.5 inches. But I have an idea. Yeah, I have an idea. Scraps! Watch this. We're going to take some of these scraps. We're going to use this one. Not those, because I really don't need those there. Where's the other flower? And this one right here. That's 4.5 plus 4.5, which should be 6.5, right? That's not 4.5. That's like 3 inches. It's going to be like 6. Let's see right now. This is how this woman right here, improvises. Let's see if this is 6 inches now. 3. Oh, yeah. That's 6 inches. Okay. This is about how much I needed. Watch this. We're going to have some fun here. We're going to cut this nice and straight to 6 inches. I'm going to cut 3 on one side and 3 on the other. I don't want my really big one because that blade. But this is going to be so awesome. Watch this. So when you don't have enough fabric,
Are you going to put that on each side?
just watch. No, it's only going to go on the one side. It's going to be the Tiffy's special corner.
One lady said put it in the middle.
Oh, I could.
Each side?
I could put it in the middle. The middle would be fun.
Instead of having it in just one corner.
Yeah, okay. Let's split it. How do we know that it's the middle, though?
That's the question of the hour.
We're going to fold this in half. We're going to line this up just like this on top of itself. Come on. Right there. That's how we're going to find the middle. And we're going to lay this on here like this. Hang it down to the end. That's going to be our center spot. We're going to cut right here on this little fold, and we're going to insert this. Oh, yeah. I'm going to have a very funky little quilt going on here. Let's make sure that this is directional and it's going in the right direction. I think it needs to go, if it's going up and down on the quilt. Let's move this out of the way real quick. Open the quilt. The words are going this way, right here. So I need this to go in up and down this direction. So we're going to put it on like this. Talk about an improv project. Put this right here. Finger press that back. Take it over to here and sew it on. All right, so I'm going to hang over the ends just like I wanted in the first place. I'm going to fold this and fold that up out of the way because we want to stop 1/4 inch in. Literally 1 stitch over right here. Just want 1 stitch.
You could put your label there.
I could have, but I already sewed this part together and I don't feel like going to use the embroidery machine. All right, here we go. That's where it needs to start. Correct direction. Hang it over. Right there. And put the needle down. Right there. There we go. Let's sew this last side on. So I was literally like 8.5 inches too short in reality because I inserted an 8.5 inch piece, but it would have been perfect if I had not cut off an inch off of every end of the selvage because then I would have had more fabric. Those extra like 4 inches, 5 inches would have helped.
Nobody will know it wasn't in the plan.
Yeah. Well, you guys will know that it wasn't the plan, but now it's the plan to have a very funky quilt. Totally different, out of the norm, but it gives you an idea of what you can do when you don't have enough border fabric. And you get to that very end and you're like, snap, it's not enough. All right, so I'm going to come up to here. I'm going to fold this piece out of the way so that I don't sew over it. I'm going to stop 1/4 inch before the edge. Okay, and without having to get up or move, this is how this works. I'm going to take this side, right here, it's in my hand, and I'm going to fold it onto this side that's sitting on my table, right here. This is really easy, I'm telling you. Line up these edges down here on your border fabric and then you're going to make sure that you have because this is why I didn't press anything. My two fabrics on the side that end right here, these are facing up, and just like this, they're facing towards the quilt itself, which is on the diagonal. Everything is on the diagonal. We're going to take a ruler, which is right here, that has a 45-degree line on it. I'm going to put that 45 along this bottom, which should be lined up as well, which it is. Nice and lined up. I'm going to put that on here. We're going to grab a erasable friction pin, and I'm going to make sure that my 45-degree line is right here, and it's lined up with the quilt, which is right here. And I'm just going to draw a line from right here at my 1/4-inch seam where I need to start and down. I'm not even going to pin this. I'm a rebel, like you guys said. I'm going to put my needle down at the junction of where those two stops come together, which is pretty much the point of the quilt. Hold. So check first, then cut. So I'm going to open it up and see that I started right where I was supposed to, right here. So I have a nice flush point right there. Everything looks good. We're just going to cut it away about a 1/4-inch seam. I literally don't have to get up. Don't have to move.
You want me to move the camera over there?
If you want to move the camera over here, yeah, sure.
One lady asked if we could show it on the
Yep,
table.
yep,
I
yep.
don't know what she means. She wants
Yeah.
the camera moved.
All right, we're going to bring, Scotty's going to move the camera over here so you guys can see. Camera's moving. Camera is moving. I leave it in between the loose and the tight. All right. Can I see right here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here's my two hang-offs. This other end right here, I'm going to put them on top of each other, lining them up as much as I can on my extension table. So you can see this side right here is lined, down here is aligned, up here is aligned, and right here, my two seams are folded in to each other to keep that aligned. And then I have a nice straight quilt right there. So while this is all aligned, I'm literally going to use that 45-degree line on my ruler. I'm going to put it down here along this bottom, and I'm going to put this top part up here on this, and I'm literally going to mark a line from here down to here. Just like that. And my stitch is going to start right here where those two junctions. I'm not crossing over this fold right here. I'm literally starting my stitch right here in that 1/4-inch within a 1/4 of an inch in. So 1/4 inch in, and that's where you start your stitch. Just hold it still. Put your needle down where you need it to start, right there. Come in, back stitch. Stitch on that line. Before I do anything at all, I always open it up to make sure, and you can see it lands nice. It's not like crimping over itself. You can see that it's a nice, perfect square. It's a nice, perfect triangle right here. Everything's going to lay flat once it's pressed. Once I know it's flat, then I go ahead and trim away about a 1/4 of an inch seam on the back side right here. Away from my seam, and I make sure that I get the two ends that are not attached to the quilt. All right, so now that corner is done, and when you press these, they kind of just go whatever way they want to lay. So from this area where I stitched in, it looks like it wants to go up. So that seam will go up, and the rest of the seams also will be going up and out. So you can see that's a nice, beautiful corner. Okay, without getting up, let's do another one. Let's make sure that ruler is right here next to us. Again, the side that I want on the table is this long side closest to me. The top portion is going to come on top of itself like this. We're going to line those fabrics up right here. Everything's nice and lined. You can see I have a seam right here. I really don't care that that's there. Everything's flat. These two are running flush with each other. See? Right on top of each other. The top is straight. The bottom is straight. Everything is nice and straight. Put your 45-degree line right here on this bottom one, which got moved when I moved everything. Re-straighten it all back out again. There we go. We're going to put that 45-degree line right here on the bottom. And we're going to line this up right there on the quilt. 1 inch in. I mean 1 inch in, 1/4 inch in right there. Draw the line all the way down. I'm not going to move or adjust anything. I'm just going to hold it right here. No pins needed. Just hold this side and this side. Turn it. Drop your needle right in that junction. Take a stitch, back stitch. And stitch on down. And you can see why we hung it over a little bit, because that gave us enough to where both ends meet. See, we came close to the edge, about, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch left over. Open it up. Make sure that I have that nice, perfect corner. I didn't overlap anything. Look at that. See? I have lots of threads. I told you this is very shreddy fabric here. But everything lined up perfectly. Once I know that it's perfect, or at least tippy perfect, you know, then I just come in and trim. Yeah, it's to have this land, you need to have that much hanging over. You have to have the size, the width of your border needs to be the amount that hangs on the end. So if your border is 5 inches, that means you need to hang it over 5 inches or a little bit more. I always say a little bit more, 3/4 of an inch to an inch more. I can get away with 1/4 because I've been doing this a long time. But for beginners' sake, I would hang it over the amount of your border. So I had a 6 inch. I'm going to hang it over 6 inches right here, plus a little bit extra, so that you know for a fact it's going to land where it's going to land. But it comes out great every time, and I didn't even have to get up. I've been doing it this way longer. Like I showed you guys in a video a couple years back on how to do this, where you take it to your table. Yeah, this specific, yes, I show this on my double carpenter wheel, but I also have on the Ultimate Strings quilt, I did how you can cut it 3 different ways. So this is one of the ways, is right here at the table, but you can also take it to the cutting mat itself, fold everything super perfectly, which you really don't need to, as you can tell. Everything lines up nicely this way. But you could take it to a table, fold it, and then cut 1/4 inch away from this edge right here, this way. So line your 45 and cut 1/4 inch away this way, and then sew your 1/4 inch seam when it's cut away. You know, that means it's pre-cut away. This way, you don't have to pre-cut it. You just have to make sure that everything lines up. Everything is lined up, and it is right here, just right here in front of you. You can see. So I'm going to mark my line from where I stopped all the way down. And you can see where you stopped. I'm going to try to move this so you guys can see. There, right there. It's 1/4 inch in from that edge. So 1/4 inch in is where my stopping point is. Try not to move or adjust anything, but I'm just going to reline it back up in case it's shifted. It's lined up here. I'm going to put my needle down in that junction. I'm telling you, this simplifies mitered corners better than any other method that anybody on the internet has ever done. Because I like to make things fast and simple. And I don't want to mess with getting up and trying to make things perfectly straight when you could do it right here at the sewing machine, and you can see right before your very eyes. See how square that landed right there? It's perfect every time. So now that I know that it's perfect, we cut it away. 1/4 inch seam. And you can do the cut to the size of the fabric all you want and all those things, but this way is faster, easier, and it's the same thing. All right, all 4 corners are done. Let me press these, and Scotty put the camera back while I press everything nice and flat. My borders are going to press out towards the border fabric. So this last one is going to press out towards this fabric. And these just fall whatever way they want to fall. And you can see already that this one is going to be falling that way. So he's going to move the camera back and I am going to press. Because that was 4 corners, right? Yeah, that was all 4. Had to make sure. And then we'll take a look at this lovely quilt top that I have now finished very quickly like. I'm just pressing it back. Pressing all those other seams while I'm at it. Because I didn't press to begin with. Kind of like I said, I'm really lazy about my quilting. Quilt making or whatever you want to call it. My piecing. And I still have square quilts, so.
You have videos of mitered corners?
Yes, I have a video of mitered corners. It's the recent double carpenter wheel has, at the end when I attach the borders, it shows how I do it just the way I just did it now, but more up close and personal with a zoom in. And then a long time ago, I did an ultimate strings quilt, and I added a mitered border to that on camera. So you might want to see if that method, that's the method you do it all on your cutting table though. Oh, Thumper's coming for a visit, guys. Well, technically Thumper and a Scotty. You're going to sew? He's going to sew?
Yeah. You know, he's going to look at Daddy and Mama's not on camera. Somebody needs to be there.
He says, Mama's not on camera. Somebody's got to be on camera. All right, one more to press. I think. Yeah. Talking to myself here. That's funny. It landed the way it landed right there. It landed exactly next to seams and all. Oh my goodness, Scott, look. It landed seams and all.
That's perfect.
Like perfectly.
You're gonna have to hold that up a little more.
So that funky piece that I threw in there, guys, it landed perfectly. I'll show you in 2 seconds. Let me finish pressing this. Now, wasn't that like just the coolest thing?
Do you have any good recent panel quilts and how to make it bigger?
I have a panel quilt video that I did at Christmas time. I'm going to hang this up so you guys can all see. I want these there, though.
Is this made from scrap fabric?
It's made from scraps that someone sent me, but I'm pretty sure it was a set in the first place, like a fat eighth bundle or something. Honestly, pretty sure that's what it was to start. It's probably not hung up very straight.
Has Scott ever done any sewing?
Scott has sewn a shirt. Serged the edge and turned it into a tank top. If you're curious, this wall has batting on it. That's why my quilt is sticking to it. All right.
Well, that's the side. Top?
Yeah, it landed on the side.
Oh, I thought that was the top.
Nope, it was the side. It landed perfectly, though. All right, guys, I'm going to take you. I'm going to take and show you guys. We're going to come back. It's hard to see the white border, but that seam right there landed perfectly with that block. Like, just landed perfectly. I probably could have put the red in there too, honestly. But let's go up close and look at it. Camera's moving, obviously. This was not planned that I had to put this in here, but look at that. It's nice and straight. So there's a mitered corner. See? No bunching, no puckering. I'm telling you guys, if this is easy peasy, you could do it yourself. No bunching, no puckering, lays perfectly flat. As long as you remember to come in a 1/4 inch each side and then do, each side of this a 1/4 inch and then do this piece in a 1/4 inch, then it should work out perfect. And you know, I could actually take a piece of this right here to make it look even better and like insert it right here because it would still be in the same spot. It would just be 1 inch. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it the way it is because it's funky and it's different. Totally off the wall, that's for sure. This is not something I would normally make, but it came out pretty nice size. It's lap size. Look at that. I like it with my little funky border.
Piece that cuts off of the mitered corners or the last corner.
I could have pieced the cutoffs from other 3 corners, yes, for the last and final one. I could have done that, yes, because I have these longer pieces. But I kind of like this because it makes it original and different. And obviously nobody has a quilt like this because who thought to do what I did with this fabric line? You know, it's a little bit out there. Definitely different. And the border actually works good with it, surprisingly. I had my doubts at first because it's not the same line of fabric, and to tell you guys what the original line is, and I'm not sure if it's even available, but I did find it on Art Gallery Fabric's website. It's called Season and Spice. I know it was something like that. Season and Spice by Art Gallery Fabrics. So there's that. That's what it was called. That's what I made a quilt out of. And now it's done. And the border was some other Art Gallery fabric again. I don't remember what it said, but it said something. Because I chopped it all off and threw it all away. It's right here. That's not the end that says it. That's not the end that says it.
That's not the end.
That's not an end that says it. Why can I find this? Capsules collection. Raise the Volume by Art Gallery Fabrics. Capsules. Whatever that has meaning to, I don't know. All right, so you guys have been waiting this whole entire video to find out who won the 50K giveaway. So we did this pre-video instead of doing it while live. So we used a random number generator, which the number links to a name in a list that's generated from the thing.
It's random.
It's random. So
there's a computer that picked the winner.
If it picks number 15, we go to the list and find the 15th number and then go across, and that's the winner. So we picked 9 winners for 9 random prizes that are all handmade, homemade, handmade. I don't know, however you want to say it. Made by me. Some things may have been made in recent videos. And then the 10th person gets a table runner because that's the bigger item that I had available to, because, you know, I'm whatever. So, ready to find out who won? The smaller ones are all bags. They're little bags. So, just so you guys know. Alrighty. The winners are, the first one was 569 Paula Jernigan. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Paula Jernigan in Florida. She won. Number 2 was 625 was the number, which went with Rose Taylor from Missouri. Then we have number 26, which went to Linda Price's name in Michigan. Then we have 261 that went with Ann Wallace in Texas. Then 485, Stacy Hawthorne in South Carolina. 447 was Rebecca Wells in Arkansas, right? No, Alaska. That's Alaska. Yeah. Then 115 went to Kathy Bowen in Washington. 197 went to Michelle Coccabellos in Hawaii. Then we have 457 went to Barbara Jefferson in what was MA again? Maine. No, that was
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Then 90, the number 10, the winner that gets the bigger prize is 96 Sylvia Joyce in South Carolina. So let me read those names again, because congratulations to all your winners. Paula Jernigan, Rose Taylor, Linda Price, Ann Wallace, Stacy Hawthorne, Rebecca Wells, Kathy Bowen, Michelle Cockbellos, Barbara Jefferson, and the 10th winner, which wins the big prize, is Sylvia Joyce. And all of you guys, Scott will be putting it all into the mail, because I have all your addresses, into the mail on Tuesday, because there's no mail tomorrow, because I'll be over on Becca's channel for a holiday of sewing. So
Becca said you forgot the grand prize that went to her for spending 2 weeks with you in February.
the grand prize to Becca for 2 weeks. Yep. 2 weeks of me. All right. So congratulations. Yay to all my winners who entered. There was like 700 and something that entered the giveaway for my 50K giveaway. So thank you all for entering. Thank you all for watching my channel. All 50,000 of you, if you eventually watch this video, thank you for all the love and support to my channel all these years. I totally appreciate it. And we're on to the next big number, which is 51,000.
We're not doing a giveaway.
I know. But anyways, so
you're almost at 51.
I know, I'm being silly. The next big number, I was being silly about it.
Oh, I didn't get that.
He didn't get my sarcasm. He never gets my sarcasm. He gets my funniness, but not my sarcasm. All right, guys. Well, I'm done. I'm going to get off of here. So those of you who won, be suspecting a prize sometime next week or however long it takes you to get your mail, because there's a Hawaii and an Alaska here. So however long you guys take to get mail, I don't know. Because, Hawaii is pretty by ship. I don't know if it's shipped in or if it's, is it shipped in or flown in? Well, I don't know how some mail does it. I mean, do they all fly?
I would imagine.
Oh, do they all find a ball named Wilson and play with them living alone on an island because it was flown in and crashed?
There is a lot of people that live in Hawaii, honey. It's not like there's 10 people there.
All right. All right, guys. I know, I'm just being weird, I guess. Whatever. Mail used to go by ship before I was even born. All right.
Tell them tomorrow again and Thursday.
Oh, yeah. Tomorrow, don't forget, I will be on Becca's channel. If Becca's still here, Becca, please put a link to tomorrow's video so that everybody can find me and you sewing Lisa the Unicorn. I'm making a wall hanging. She's making a pillowcase, but we're technically just making one block. And I hope you guys join us tomorrow at 10 a.m. my time or 12 p.m. Eastern time or 11 a.m. Central time. That's all I know off the top of my head.
Just say 10 o'clock our time.
10 o'clock Arizona time. Which would be 9 o'clock a.m. Pacific time. Okay, I'm going to go now. Bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. 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 Scotty can't find the X to hang this up.